When the Mongol Empire began its expansion, nothing seemed capable of stopping it. From China to Persia and from Central Asia to Eastern Europe, entire kingdoms fell in a matter of months. But there was one power the Mongols could never fully conquer: the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt. It wasn't because the Mongols lacked strength, it was because the Mamluks possessed something even more formidable: discipline, strategy, and a unique warrior culture shaped by survival itself. This is the story of how the Mamluks stopped one of the most feared empires in history. The Mamluks began not as nobles or kings, but as enslaved soldiers, boys taken from the Turkic steppes and the Caucasus, trained in Egypt to become elite warriors. Over time, they became so powerful that they overthrew their own masters and built a state ruled entirely by military skill. In the Mamluk world, status didn't come from birth, it came from loyalty, discipline, and the ability to fight. Their entire society was built around producing warriors who lived and died for the battlefield. When the Mongols conquered Baghdad in 1258, shock waves spread across the Muslim world. The Abbasid Caliphate had fallen, cities had burned, and millions feared that nothing could stop the Mongol advance. For many, Egypt was destined to be the next target. But the Mamluks prepared. Their armies were made up of cavalry just like the Mongols, but they understood desert warfare far better. They were trained in mounted archery, close combat, and rapid maneuvers. They also had a massive advantage: Egypt's geography. The Mongols fought best on open grasslands where horses could charge freely. The Middle East's harsh deserts and narrow routes forced them into unfamiliar terrain. But what truly stopped the Mongols was a single battle: the Battle of Ain Jalut in 1260. The Mongol general Kitbuka led his forces into the Levant, expecting another easy victory. What he didn't expect was the Mamluks' mastery of strategy. The Mamluk Sultan Qutuz and his general Baybars developed a plan based on deception. They used one of the Mongols' favorite tactics, the feigned retreat, against them. Mamluk cavalry pretended to flee, drawing the Mongols into a carefully chosen valley. The moment they charged, hidden Mamluk units struck from both sides. The trap snapped shut. The Mongols were overwhelmed, Kitbuka was captured, and the Mongol advance was stopped for the first time in open battle. This victory sent a message across the world: the Mongols could be defeated. And the Mamluks didn't stop there. They rebuilt their defenses, strengthened fortifications, and formed alliances with surviving Abbasid nobles to restore some form of legitimacy in Cairo. The Mongols attempted further invasions, but each one failed. Sometimes they were forced back by politics in Mongolia, sometimes by harsh desert conditions. But often, it was the Mamluks themselves who stopped them. Another key factor was the Mongol split. After Genghis Khan, the empire fractured into several khanates. The Ilkhanate in Persia wanted to conquer Egypt, but the Golden Horde, another Mongol faction, opposed it. This internal rivalry made it difficult for the Mongols to commit their full strength to a single invasion. While they argued, the Mamluks prepared, fortified their territories, and ensured that every soldier was ready for the next threat. Meanwhile, the Mamluks developed a powerful intelligence network across the region. They gathered information about Mongol movements, studied their weapons, and learned their tactics. They weren't just reacting, they were anticipating. And because their rulers were chosen from the best warriors, military readiness was never neglected. Every Mamluk Sultan knew that survival depended on the strength of the army. Their resilience paid off. Throughout the late 1200s and early 1300s, the Mongols launched several campaigns but never broke through. The Mamluks continued to win battles, form alliances, and exploit the geography to their advantage. By the time the Mongol power began to decline in Persia, the window to conquer Egypt had closed forever. The Mamluks didn't just survive, they thrived. Their victory at Ain Jalut became a defining moment in world history. It protected the heart of the Muslim world, preserved Egypt from destruction, and marked the first major defeat of an empire many believed was unstoppable. For the first time, the Mongols met an enemy who matched their skill, understood their tactics, and fought with a determination born from a life of discipline and hardship. The Mongols conquered half the known world, but they never conquered the Mamluk Sultanate because sometimes the strongest armies are forged not from wealth or nobility, but from warriors who know that their entire identity rests on never losing a battle.